What is up, Facebook Live? Yes, finally, random is on and everything. Man, you can't script none of this, man. You can't script it. You cannot script it. Um, Thank you guys for being patient and everything. Certain things, I mean, hey, it's holiday traffic and things that are somewhat out of our control and everything. But thank you guys. This is random. We are having, we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Um, Want to introduce a gentleman. Um, Sorry about that. I'm actually getting my questions together and everything, so it is what it is, man. Um, he just got in from New York. He is host of the Alternative um, on WCHR, Voice of Harlem. Melvin Taylor. I am going to bring him into this broadcast. Um, Let me bring him in. So, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful um, weekend and everything. I hope you guys are getting everything prepared for Thanksgiving. Um, I hope there's a lot of peace and joy, and I hope you guys have a lot of things to be thankful for, and I hope there's a lot of Thanksgiving you guys can bring forth to people and just be a blessing and everything. So, um, let me get this started and everything. Um, there we go.
Hey,
What's up, man? Man, now this looks pretty dope. See, this is
hey.
pretty dope, man. So for those of you who
Yes,
are
man.
tuning in, this gentleman to my right, I believe he's your, no, he would be there, right,
Yep,
if it's
same,
scrolling and everything.
same. Yeah.
This is Melvin Taylor, host of The Alternative on WCHR, voice of Harlem and everything. Thank you for joining Random. I mean, it's been
Oh man, no
it's
problem
been
at
a
all. There was some
random day,
issues.
man.
It definitely has been, and it was a very a random. Let's just keep it that way. It's been a very random day. So yeah.
Oh man. So, you're from Chicago, right? And you
Yes, sir.
made the move to go to New York and do your show and everything. Tell us about the whole process as far as moving from Chicago to New York and getting the show off the ground and everything.
Man, so what originally happened? I'll just kind of give you some backstory on it. It was like I was taking some classes at ICB, now known as IMS, where we met, Illinois Center for Broadcasting, Illinois Media School.
Okay.
And I would take those classes after I would work my sales job. I was working at Cox Media as a sales assistant. And I remember coming home. It was late one day. My mom had picked me up from the train, and we were driving home. And I remember just complaining about I was so tired from like working and then having to go to class and not really seeing the results of some of the work I had been putting in yet, part of this microwave society. And I was like, man, I want to see more results like now. And I was just super frustrated and I don't have any money. I'm always broke. Like, what is going on? And I remember her telling me, hey, things could be a lot different. Like
Yeah.
when she and my dad were like around my age right now is when I came into the picture. And she was like, man, if you look at all the blessings that you have compared to what other people have, things could be a lot different. So from there, I was like, okay, mom, like, way to just drop it on me. I was just trying to vent. Like, all right, cool. So the next day, I go back into work. I go into work
Okay.
and I get there like maybe 30 minutes or so before everybody else. And I notice that I get a phone call from a 212 number. And I'm thinking in my head,
Mm.
212 is what area code is that? Because I know it's familiar. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh, it's a New York number. Who from New York is calling my direct line this early? What exactly is going on here? So I answer the phone call. Turns out to be the VP of sales at CBS in New York. And I'm
Okay.
just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Wasn't expecting this call from you. He's like, no, 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 it's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Like, hey, I'm glad I was able to catch you. I know we're an hour ahead. So I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. And I'm just kind of looking around like, man, I hope nobody sees me on this phone call right now. Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and talk. I've got nothing but time. Let's do this. So as we're talking, he just tells me that, he just wants to say thank you on behalf of the company and just who I am as a person because I had taken some days off from work to go and visit them and to also go and participate in the fellowship program that I was in, had like an alumni event. So work would
Okay.
only give me one day off. I would take that day off from work. I would fly into New York, and in the morning, I would like get there super early in the morning, go say hey to people with my internship, then go visit the people at CBS that I used to intern with, stay with them throughout the day. Then I would leave, go to the actual alumni event, go out with my cohorts. Then later on that evening, stay up until about 3 in the morning, go to the airport, sleep for like maybe 3 hours, take the first flight out of Chicago, and then go right back to work the next day because I could only have one day off from work. So
Wow.
but he just wanted to thank me for stopping in because somebody else had told him about how my travel had been, and that had happened like 3 different times where I had done that to just be like, all right, I just want to put that work in just to show people, hey, I really
Mm.
love New York. Would love to be back here one day. Let's see what happens. And he just kind of gave me a tip to say, you know what, there's a job opening that we have. I'm not saying that you have the job or anything, but go through this process here. It may end up working out for you. It ended up working out
Mm.
for me. And then I was like, okay, great. When do you guys need me to start? Next week. Excuse me? Oh, we need you to start like next week. So the following week, they
Man,
needed me to move to New York.
okay. Ugh. It's live, folks, so bear with us and everything. Hopefully it's not on his end. Um, okay. All right. Bear with us, folks. This is, all right. Lost him a little bit. Let me bring him back on. All right. There we go. All right. This is live, folks. This is what happens.
Okay,
There we
sorry
go.
about that. I'm still
Man,
getting. I'm
it's
trying to get
right.
used to
Hey,
the. It's
hey, this
random,
is
like you
random,
said.
man. It
This is very
happens,
random.
man.
Exactly.
So yeah, you were talking about, getting a job. It's the guy
Hmm.
VP telling you, hey, not saying it's your job, but you kind of
Yeah, he was
got it and
basically
everything, man.
just saying like,
Man, how did that
hey,
make you, how did you process that? Okay. All right. He's still working with it, folks. Thank you guys for being patient and everything. Um, Let me see what's going on. So, thank you guys who are tuning in and everything, being patient and everything. Here. All right. Let's try this again. So, folks, this is random. This is what it is. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on. All right.
oh
There
my
we go.
God, please work. Hello.
Man,
Okay.
this is a funny day, man. You
This is
cannot script this.
you really can't.
So,
This is killing me right now. Okay, so
it's patient, man.
it's
Um,
100%.
Yeah, so you go through the process and everything. Man,
Right.
you
End
you
up
get that jump and
go ahead.
everything.
Yeah.
What was your, you get, for those of you who are watching you might not understand the magnitude of it. You're going from Chicago to the number one market. Like
Yes.
you're going where 90 to like 95% of major headquarters are in New York. So you're
Yes.
going, where everything is funneled and stuff like that, man. So, man, tell us your thought process, making that adjustment to like, oh crap, I got this job.
It was man, to be completely honest with you, it was kind of like in my sense earth shattering or just earth
Okay.
shattering, and you can also call it very humbling because it went from all right, like I'm in Chicago and obviously I'm not taking that for granted, but I do know that it's the third market and I can have a chance to like, make a name here, build it up, and then eventually make that
Yeah.
jump back over to New York. But then when I actually like moved out there and was like, okay, I'm like legit here now. So the people that you see on TV, the people that you listen to, the people that you always aspire to be like are walking these same streets as you and are eating at these same restaurants as you and
Mm.
are walking past you, brushing past you, trying to get on the train. Like one story, Van Jones from CNN one time, I was getting off the one train and I just happened to look up and he's right there getting on the train. I'm like, oh my God, Van Jones? And he was like, hey man, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day, but I kind of gotta go. I was like, go ahead, do your thing. I just couldn't believe you was taking the one
Wow.
train right now. But yeah, it's really just like a flip of the switch in the sense to say, okay, this is awesome, this is amazing that I'm here, and I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity. But I need to now prove that I can do this too. I need to show that I can be here and that this can happen for me just like it happened for them.
Okay.
So that was my entire process while when I first got there, and it was again the same schedule that I had in Chicago. I changed some things in New York to have that same type of schedule. So uh, in New York for the first couple of months, I was just working, going home, working, going home. I still like working and tinkering on stuff on the side, and then eventually I found places to be able to take classes at. MNN is one place, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, that now hosts my TV show, Making Manhattan, and
Okay.
I would go to work, and then after work, I would go take classes there, and then sometimes go take classes on the weekend, help other people with their TV shows and their projects however best I can, and then just work to the point where I felt comfortable enough just trying to start my own show, which
Okay.
I've now done, and all while I was doing that, the same people who helped to start WLGK Logic Radio, especially Elliot. Major shout out to Elliot
Okay.
because he told me I was doing jam session at the time with me, Jason Kelfer, and
Yeah.
Anthony Gill while I was out here in Chicago before I left. And when I had moved, I was kind of distraught because I said to myself, man, that was the only way for me to really break into radio um, because they were giving me an opportunity to do it. Otherwise, every other place I had applied to for like a job and internship was telling me no. And Elliot said, you know what? Just
Yeah.
get you a microphone, do what you can, get it to me, and we'll make it happen. Like whenever you're ready, let's do that. And I did that, and that's what started like the alternative with Melvin Taylor as a show on Logic Radio, and then just from working and making connections, and by the grace of God, I was able to make WHCR happen, and now I'm doing that show every week on top of the Logic Radio show, and just growing from there.
Now, that's amazing. Now, for those of you who don't follow Melvin on social media, you want to follow his Instagram because he usually the reason why I say that because people are like, "Oh, wow, that's cute. You got two shows." You don't understand. He's getting up at what, 3 in the morning, if I'm
Man,
correct?
so on my
Eastern time.
WHCR show, exactly. My WHCR show is on Tuesdays from 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning. So I still have a regular job, mind you. I still do TV production for a company called Bold TV, Bold TV. Search them on Facebook. And Clay Aiken
Okay.
is one of the anchors on the show. So I produce on the politics show and the business show that they have on Tuesdays and Fridays. So on Monday nights, I will have to leave right from work, go straight home. As soon as I get home, eat, do whatever else I got to do to make sure I have everything ready for Tuesday. I try and go to bed by about like 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock. Within that like 30 to 45 minute range, I need to be in bed because it still takes me a minute to just like actually fall asleep. Go to sleep. I wake up at like 1 in the morning, get dressed, trying to be out the house by 1:30 to then make the next train, the next local train that'll take me from where I'm staying in the city all the way to the radio station. And from there, I get to the station at about like 2:45-ish, 2:50, and I got to make sure I got everything prepared to go so that way thermal sound waves, the show on before me, can then wrap up at the time they're supposed to. Shout out to those guys as well. They've been very instrumental in me even being able to continue doing so and been very helpful for me. And from there, I go on the show. I do my show from 3 to 6, and then I have another show, Miss Virginia, that comes on after me. And then from there, on Tuesdays, I go right from there to going to work my regular 9 to 5. But because it's a show day, I have to get there early to help prepare and set up the mugs and get the lights and the cameras and everything else and the script and everything set up. So, yeah, my schedule is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And it's funny because there's been times where you've been heading to work and you message me and you're like, man, do you ever sleep? And I'm like, nah, dude, I take micro naps. Like, I never sleep.
I'm like, I don't see people
You're
that
like,
are up like as much as I'm up. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Like, you're still awake right now. This is crazy. Yeah.
So, man, tell us the whole, people when you go to New York, there's a difference from going to New York as a tourist and being in New York and living in New York, man.
Yeah.
Tell us the difference in just the culture, it's the little nuances that us in Chicago, the blue line, this, the train, you take the train and everything, what are the little, differences from New York to Chicago?
Man,
living in both cities.
Make sure that you always have some type of money on you, just because going to the different bodegas, or like we call them corner stores out here, they're bodegas in the as you can see, BODEGA, Bodega Boys. Shout out to Deeces and Mero because it's a hilarious show. At the different bodegas, the credit card limit or the debit card limit is always like $12, $10, $13 or whatever. I'm not trying to go in there and spend that much every single time, so I'm just used to now, at least while I'm there, like carrying some money on me so that way I can do that. So that's one thing for sure. Second thing is the train takes a little while to get used to. When people first move from Chicago to New York, they're like, oh, I can take the blue line, or I can take the orange line, or the green line, or the red line. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works out here. They're all signified by letters and numbers. So you can take the A, B, C, or D, and that may get you where you want to go. But if you just hop on this blue line and say, oh, I'm going to take the blue line to get there, you'll be completely lost. And at the same time, there's so many different lines now because if you were to move from Chicago to New York and be like, all right, I'm going to take the train, you got the blue line, you got the orange line, you got the red line, you got the green line, you got the yellow, you got white, you got gray, you got brown. And then each of those have like either 2 or 3 trains that go with it. And even from there, some trains are working some weekends, some aren't working other weekends, and you're trying to figure all that out. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that, when they say New York City never sleeps, city never sleeps. There's always something that is going on. There's always something that you can get into, both good and bad. There's always a networking opportunity out there for you. There's literally like something going on at every point in time. So when I'm going to work, to do the radio show, there's still people that are either working right then, or that are going to work, or that are coming from work, or that are going to party. Like, you don't know how many Tuesdays I'll sit on a train and like go through my set and my songs list to make sure I have everything. And I see people getting on that are getting ready to go to a party. And I'm like, do you know it's do? So
Sorry about that. Got a phone call.
no, it's okay. It's New York City. It's just
Yeah.
what people do. So there's just some things like that are just some small nuggets right there for people to just be mindful of. Also, the price of living is a lot more in New York City. Like, milk significantly costs more than it does out here in Chicago. So make sure you're prepared for how much more things are going to cost. But yeah, aside from that, man, it's a lot of fun. It's great, and it's a very great place for the space that I'm in right now and the age that I'm at right now in my life, just to say, hey, this is something new. This is
That's
something
awesome,
different,
man.
and I'm happy to be doing it. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. I can attest, getting back to your IG story. I think
Yeah.
it was your IG, your Snapchat, or your Facebook story. You were in the cab, and you shot a few shots like, hey, I'm headed to, the station, blah, blah, blah. And then you did a shot of like outside, and I'm like, holy crap, this city literally never sleeps.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it looked like something out of a movie. I'm like, this ain't out of a movie. This dude's actually.
Getting to the station because normally I'll get up and then there's a train that's like maybe a half a mile away from me that I'll walk to. And I was walking to that train, got down there, swiped my car, and then there was a sign that said, oh, there are no local trains that are running today. There are only express lines. So I was like, okay, let me walk like a mile to the next express line. And I'm trying to like walk as fast as I can because I'm like, I have to like get there to be on air in enough time. Otherwise, they're not going to put me on. So I walk over there, and as I get there, it's like, oh, the train is skipping this station too. So I'm like, okay, let me just call a car. And then I call a car. I don't call the what was I using? I was using Uber. I didn't call it Uber X. I accidentally called it Pool. So now it's like me and 5 other people in this car, and they all have to get dropped off before me. And then I get dropped off to one place, and I'm like, this isn't where I wanted to go. Now I have to call another car to get there because the train over there isn't working. That was a very crazy day. It was just a very, very insane day. So I was like, let me just document this.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to believe that this is going on right now. So, yeah.
Man, that's, I want to commend you for just making that jump, taking that leap of faith.
Thank you.
Those of you who are watching, and some people might say, oh, man, I really want to go there. It's one thing to, I have a desire to, and then there's another thing to actually have the opportunity. You see it, you go there, it's like, I'm not watching a movie. I'm actually in New York. There's Central Park. There's, like I'm on, here. I'm here. Like, holy crap. Now I got my next question, man. And my question is, what was that moment where, while you're in New York and everything, you went from, okay, man, I'm in New York, man, this opportunity's happening, to where you're like, business just picked up. Like, I need to take it to another level because what just happened right here, like this. Oh yeah, this is the real deal.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I think what was the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when I was working at CBS, which I very much enjoyed my time there, and I just kind of noticed that some of the people that I would like to call my peers, or some of the people that are doing the same things that I would like to do, and that are basically doing those same things that I like to do. I always, whenever I'm going somewhere, I kind of identify who those people are so I can know what circles that they run in, what are the things that they're doing, so that way I can be knowledgeable of what's going on too. And the same group of people that I first identified while I got to New York, I noticed were just starting to ascend and to starting to do a lot more, and not just in the sense of, they're still doing their own things or doing things for small companies. Now they're working with name and top tier brands, doing business with them or creating content with them or working with them in multiple facets. And I said to myself, okay, I don't know what I got to do, but now is that time to snap out of the, oh man, look, I'm here in New York and the lights are so bright, to, okay, now I'm here and there's a purpose for me being here, and I need to make that purpose meaningful. Otherwise, I would have done nothing but waste my time while I'm here. So that just led to me taking more serious the classes that I was doing, and also taking the show on Logik more serious, and that ended up leading into the radio show that I'm doing now. And then even then, now that I'm doing those things, I see that same group of people starting to do even more now. So I'm saying to myself, okay, what are modifications I can make to my show, both 2 radio shows, as well as a 3rd show that I'm building out right now, and then another TV show that I'm working on right now too. And I'm also helping to produce a sports show as well. I'm just saying, okay, let me try and really get those things going so that way I can kind of help to solidify myself and differentiate myself from everyone else. And then another thing that also happened recently that really kicked it in for me is I like to call this man my mentor, even though I'm still trying to do everything I can to help build up that relationship, because this man is just so busy. It's kind of difficult to do so. Nick Cannon. I was able to meet him about 2 years ago. It was kind of funny. I posted something on Instagram when he became like Radio Shack's like CTO, and I was like, "Oh, shout out to my mentor. He's doing so well."
the very next week when I was producing on a podcast, I used to get his Instagram notifications because I just wanted to know when
Yeah.
things were going on. And I got a notification of him doing an event. I just kind of dismissed it because I was like, oh man, it's like some event way off somewhere in LA. I'm not going to be able to make that. And I just happened to go back and check it and saw that it was in New York. So I had somebody cover for me and ended up getting my way. That story for how I got in there is for another day. But I ended up making my way into the event
Awesome,
and
man.
basically worked my way up to him, told him about who I am, pitched myself to him as just like, I just want somebody to lean on, somebody as a mentor. And through like several conversations, we've been able to kind of like build upon that relationship. And just like 2-3 weeks ago, I was able to actually hang out with them while they were filming season 10 of Wild 'N Out. And just
Awesome, man.
seeing how busy he is, you can tell how detail oriented he is and how much he pays attention to everything that's going on and how he's nice to everyone that comes across from him. And you see, he'll go on stage and film something. He'll come backstage and he can play the piano, which he can play like damn good. Damn
Wow.
good. He'll come in and play the piano, and him and some of the music producers will then come up with a beat and say, okay, this is some of the beats that we're going to use for the actual show. So now not only is he getting licensing from being the creator of the show, producer on the show, host and talent on the show, but also he's doing music on the show. Okay, cool. While he's doing that, he's like still playing a full song. Some of the other showrunners and other producers are coming in telling him what other talent is coming in, changes they're making to the script. Mind you, he's still playing the piano and he's having these conversations with people while also you're having talent on the show that are coming in for like the wild style saying, hey, this is the route that we think we're gonna take the next time we go on wild style, and they're like freestyling to him as he's still having a conversation with people and he's playing the piano, and meanwhile he's asking me, Melvin, do you like shrimp? Like, I got some food over there if you'd like some.
That's
And I'm just like,
awesome,
yo,
man.
is he like Superman? Like, I don't understand how you're able to do so much and be so good at everything you do, but then you just realize from all the people that I talked to that was around him, they just said he's been the same way his whole life. He's always been detail oriented, always been super nice, and always been willing, no matter what, to put the work in. If that means that, hey, he has to film something in Los Angeles, drive down to San Diego to go make some music, and then come back to Los Angeles to be ready to go on set the next morning, he was willing to do that just to prove
Wow.
how hungry he was and how much work he wanted to put into being who he is today. And just being able to see that, I was like, all right, now that I know, I've seen the process for somebody that's doing it to the level at which I want to
Yeah.
do it. I have to turn this up even more so. I have to do better than what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I hope that answered your question. 'Cause I know
Man,
that's
that actually
yeah.
that actually goes into my next question. You mentioned Nick Cannon as being a mentor, an influence and everything. Who were your other influences that really got you like, you know what? I need to get in this industry.
Man, it's okay. I can kind of give you like 5 people or so, and these 3 people have not changed over the past couple of years. And one obviously is Nick Cannon. Another one is Terrence Jenkins, because he also hosts TV and produces like I want to do, and also acts. Him and Nick both. And Ryan Seacrest is a third, and I got the opportunity to talk and meet with Ryan Seacrest briefly as well. And the last 2 guys and they're there now because they're so big, but they're also there because I followed them for so long, and it's so crazy just to see like how big they've gotten. And that would be Kevin Hart and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Because
Awesome,
I'm like,
man.
man, I remember Kevin Hart being on Soul Plane. I remember them bootlegging
Yes,
Soul Plane
yes,
in the
yes,
barbershop, and nobody was
yes.
giving Kevin Hart a good look. And then when I saw his Shaq stand-up special, I was like, man, he is really good at this, and how he's just flipped
Yeah,
all of that into who he is today. And then with The Rock, I remember when The Rock was on WWE, If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking. I remember when he
yeah,
did The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, and then did Scorpion King, and then did all the other movies, then Gridiron Gang,
yeah,
and the Disney movies, and then him just building up to who he is today. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so it is possible, but you have to put that, like, an
yes,
out and
yes,
outworldly, like out of body, like type of work ethic to be
yeah.
able to get there. But it is possible if you do it. So those are kind of like the 5 guys right now that I'm like, those are the guys that are on my wall that when I go to sleep, I'm imagining myself having conversations with those guys and picking their brain and just kind of imagining what their days are like so I can say, okay, these are the things that I need to do and these are the ways in which I need to go about things. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I can relate to that and everything. You mentioned two guys, or one guy in specific that's really an inspiration to me is The Rock. Um, for me,
Crazy.
um,
Crazy.
for me, he's an inspiration because I remember, like you were bringing up, the Mummy. I remember when he was Rocky Maivia, when he just came out, man.
Yes,
Like he
with
would,
the outfit and the
yes,
hair. Oh my goodness.
yes, he would come
Yes.
out and like,
Yes.
I watched the video. I was like, wait a minute, like this is a video where nobody's cheering for him. Like this is crazy.
Yes.
Um,
People hated him at first.
yes,
Hated him. And it's
yes,
like
but
now he's the #1 movie star in the world. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
but also the other influence that he has on me is that him being biracial and overcoming
Hmm.
those things that most people really don't, oh, people who are multi-ethnic, they have no issues.
No,
If
there's
you're,
there's a
if,
there's a lot. Yeah.
yeah, if you're black and whether you're white, Puerto Rican, Asian, Italian, there's always this thing you got to overcome. I don't know what
Yeah.
that thing is, but he's managed to overcome it and be an inspiration to many people and everything. Um,
Yeah.
my
I
next
think just to
question
jump
is,
in real quick,
go
before
ahead.
we get to the next question, I do want to say that I think where it comes from even some of the biracial friends that I have, is just kind of finding a sense of belonging sometimes.
Yeah,
Because it's like I don't necessarily, you don't want to. You don't want to just say I belong just to one group because you're more than
yeah,
just that. And then if you go to the root of it, we all are more than just that. But as of right
yes,
now, especially with the climate the way that it is, we normally stick around those who most resemble and most sound like and
yes,
look like and like the same things that we do, and having to come up and some people having to be told no, you have to choose, I think is really
yeah,
unfortunate. And I think it's kind of a detriment as to who, and it's kind of just a hindrance upon who they could be and their potential of who they could become. So just to
yeah.
speak on a little bit of what you're saying, but yeah.
Now, my next question, you made this jump and everything. You came from Chicago to New York and everything. You're making moves and everything. Um,
Hmm.
but we had this conversation before, I think a couple months ago. You hit me up. You're like, hey, man, the social media thing, man, this is, you know, how do I do this? And I believe you
Yeah,
were you were at IMS around 2014, right?
it was end of 2014, 2015, yeah,
Yeah,
up
so
until
you
like
came
this
in,
spring 2015.
yeah, you came in right after I graduated and everything. And
Hmm.
with back then, I mention this all the time, Facebook didn't have Facebook Live, stories,
Nope.
Messenger with video and video chats,
None of this. None of this.
Instagram, the videos, you only could go to like 30 seconds. There wasn't Instagram Live or Instagram Stories. Snapchat wasn't around. There was no YouTube Live. How is social media from when you got into the business as a student, and
Hmm.
worked your way up? How has social media really made you really, like you said, like your mentors? You know what? I got to work even harder because like these are like platforms that I can gain a lot of exposure on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would say the biggest way in that social media has changed is that it allows you to do so much more and to show so much more. Because remember when we were at IMS, um, we didn't have it. IG stories weren't even a thing,
Yeah,
and it's now like second nature to think, oh, I'm just gonna check somebody's Instagram story. But at that time, people were like, why is Instagram doing stories? Like Snapchat has that. Why are they trying to move in on
yeah,
Snapchat at a sense? And I really hearken to it's a line that a lot of people in the media industry use when they say
yeah.
that our Instagrams, our Twitters, our Facebooks, our YouTubes, that is now our CBS, our NBC, our Fox, our ABC. It's
Yep.
basically you're always on. It's your TV show. It's
Yes.
your content. It's whatever you want to create. And really seeing people take that and blow up over the past few years the way that they have has really just inspired me in a sense to say, you know what, I want to be as good as I possibly can be with it because who knows the types of opportunities that are out there for me once I'm able to fully contextualize how to use
Yeah.
these platforms and then utilize them in the ways in which everyone else is doing. So I would say that would be the biggest thing because again, beforehand, we didn't have that. You just went on Facebook
Yeah.
to tell people hey, guys I went to high school with, this is what's going on with me.
Yeah.
You went to
We didn't
Snapchat to
have
show
this.
everybody, hey, this is what my day is like. Right, you didn't have
Yeah.
this. You went to YouTube to shoot videos, and now you can do all of that. Like Vine was still super popular
Yeah.
back then, and now Vine is dead. So I would say that would probably be the biggest thing, and then just learning that you can really build your audience and grow with people and allow people to see the maturation of who you are and who it is that you want to be and who you're becoming through social media as well. It's an extension of you that the world is able to see. And again, you only have to put out so much. You only have to
Yeah.
put out what it is that you want people to see. And for being able to do that, I think it just helps you out to be able to say, this is what I want to create. This is what I want to curate. This is what I want the world to see of me. And that's what you're able to do with social media nowadays. So yeah.
Again, for those of you who are tuning in, this is Melvin Taylor from WCHR, the voice of Harlem, host of The Alternative, which is also on WLGK Logik Radio. Man, there's so much I want to get into because you opened up a can of worms and everything. But no, I totally agree with you as far as this social media and the platforms and the opportunities. Case in point, what we're doing now, there's people on your friends list that don't know who I am, and there's people on my friends list that don't know who you are, and they're like, man, who's this? And by us doing this, we're promoting pretty much essentially two brands at one time and everything. And it's really, it's really cool if you use it right. And I think what's really helped social media is that it's geared more towards people like us that's in the broadcasting industry. Instead of people shooting these Facebook Live videos or doing stupid stuff, and things that really don't add value and stuff like that. Like this, this can add value because there's somebody that's probably tuning in that's listening to you like, man, I really want to go to New York. Man, I never thought about that, when I make a move and stuff like that. And that goes to my next question. What advice do you have for that person that is either watching or will watch this that maybe in the similar shoes that you were, where you get this opportunity to go to a major city, and it isn't something minor. This is something, you get there, your foot's in the door, and now your whole body's there. It's like, okay, I need to make this work. What advice do you have for that person, as far as how to handle that and just how to go about it?
I would say, man, just be willing to do what it takes to make your dreams come true if that's what you really want to do. Because when you think about it, a lot of things that I'm doing, I don't get paid for my TV shows. I don't get paid for my radio shows. I get paid for the producing that I do. But the other things that I'm doing, I'm not getting paid for those things right now. If anything, it's just trying to show you guys the aspirations of things that I want to accomplish and whom it is that I want to become. And when you think about it, New York is very busy in itself. Or not even just New York, any big city that you go to in itself, you're going to be able to find and follow your way into things. And you can get wrapped up in a lot very quickly. So you need to identify what it is that you want to do and then say, what is it that I'm going to do to make that happen? What sacrifices am I going to make? Am I going to go out more on the weekends, or am I going to stay inside and prepare myself to be able to work this whole weekend? Am I going to say, you know what, I work a 9 to 5, but I'm going to go and take night classes? You know what, there are things going on. There are parties that I want to go to on the weekends, but I'm going to take this production job that's only going to pay me X amount, but it's going to be a great experience for me. I'm going to go work on this other project that I know of because it's going to be a great experience for me. And again, not getting paid for those things, but it's helping you to learn so that way you can then do your own thing. You really want to have a sense of what it is that you want to do, because you can easily move somewhere and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and then get there, find something else, and you never come back to what it is you originally wanted to do. So just kind of have a sense of what it is that you want and stick to it. Stick to it, because there are a lot of things out there that can detract you from it, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, again, I want to commend you for just taking that step and everything. A lot of people have mentioned to me that I need to go to California, more so Los Angeles. And I tell them, like, You know, I got a buddy in New York that moved in. You know, that wasn't like, oh, this, hops throw, whatever that saying is, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm like, you realize
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of factors you gotta like, put into play.
Man, let me just tell you real quick. When I was initially accepted the offer to move to New York, again, I didn't know. I knew of people out there, but
Hmm.
everybody that I knew out there was in the internship program with me the summer beforehand, and were getting by themselves or had already had family out there. So there wasn't really any room for me to be able to just be like, oh, I'm gonna just go crash at my friends. I'm gonna just go
Yeah.
crash at my cousins, because all my cousins that had lived in New York had all moved back to Chicago by this point. So now I'm saying to
Okay.
myself, okay, how am I gonna make this work? So I get to New York and I rent an Airbnb for the first 2 weeks. And on the very last day, I thought I was gonna sign a lease for a place. That ended up falling through. Very last day, I had to get another Airbnb, which came for another 2 weeks. Basically, zapped out my whole savings, because if you think about it,
Wow.
when I first moved to New
Yeah.
York, I couldn't get paid until 3 weeks after I moved, because I had to get on the
Wow.
regular payment schedule. So now I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, not only is everything that I had going into both of these places that I'm staying into, but I've eaten ramen, Popeyes, and McDonald's for only so long, and I can go with this. And I also need
Yeah.
to come up with the direct deposit to be able to move into place. On top of that, we're not even talking social wise. Once you move to a new place,
Yeah.
I have to learn now how the environment here works. I can't just come in being myself and expecting things to work out. On a certain extent, you can, but you also need to adapt to where it is that you are, so that way you can understand how everything works and then kind of insert your own influence. So just learning, okay, these people are friends of mine. These people are not friends of mine, and I don't need to be over there. These are the things
Okay.
that I need to be doing. These are the things that I don't need to be doing. The places I don't need to be. Like you said, it's a whole laundry list of other things that you need to consider. And sometimes it is just as easy as being like, you know what? I'm gonna move there and I'm gonna make it happen, if that's your mindset on everything. But
Yeah.
some other people just want to do it on a whim. That's not necessarily the way in which you should go about it. Make sure you think about some of those things before you go into it.
Awesome. Awesome. Again, those of you who are tuning in, just want to let you guys know, thank you for being patient with the brief interruptions and Wi-Fi connection
Yeah,
between.
man, we appreciate that. That's
I've never
crazy.
experienced this, but hey, like I said, the
It's
show's
random.
called
It's
Random.
random.
So
There you go.
it's supposed to, let me phrase that, because you speak things into existence. I'm not going to say that. It's it sometimes happens. It's not supposed to happen, but it sometimes happens.
There you go.
Um,
It happened and it was random and
yeah,
it's over now. So we're
yeah,
good. We're
yeah.
good.
My next question, man, what value do
Hmm.
you want to give to this industry, man?
Honestly, the way I can answer that is when people ask me what overall is it that you want to do, and I tell them that I want to host on TV, and they're like, okay, what specifically on TV do you want to do? And I take that back when you see Nick on Wild 'N Out, when you saw Ryan Seacrest on American Idol, when you saw Terrence J on 106 in Park. What were they doing? They were,
Hmm.
yes, providing you content, but they were allowing you, other people who are chasing after their dreams. They were creating those opportunities for people to be able to go on stage and show the talents that they have, or show how good they are at something, or sometimes show how bad they are at something. But they're basically providing opportunities for other people. And that's what I want to do too. I want to be able to get to a platform and say, hey, here are these people that are good at these things, and I want to help showcase those talents to the world in the best possible way I can. So with my radio shows, hey, here's some music that I think is great. You probably not gonna hear it normally you're not probably not normally. You won't hear this for more often than not on the radio, so I'm gonna play it here, and that's why we call it the
Awesome,
alternative,
man.
because we do what other people won't do. And the same with my TV show, Making Manhattan. Yeah, you hear about all these other stories that go on around the city, but here's some people that are out here that either moved out here or are originally from Manhattan, originally from New York, that are making their dreams come true in alternative ways. And that's why we call it Making Manhattan, because you're here to kind of create your own story and to create your own way. And I just want to be able to be at a point where I can say, like I said before, hey man, here are people that are good at this. I want to present this to the world so that way they can take hold of your talent and put you where you should be, so that way everyone can know how good it is you are. So, yeah, I hope
Awesome, man.
that answers the
Awesome.
question. Yeah, it
My
really does.
next question, man. My next
Mhm.
question, man. Was this your first time using the Facebook Live two-person broadcast?
Yes, I didn't even know this was a thing until I saw this on your show. I was like, oh my God, you can do this? What? I know that
Ah,
Facebook had said something
uh,
about rolling it out, but I hadn't checked it out, and I hadn't really like cared at that point in time to be like, oh, okay, well, let me go check and see. And then when I started seeing your videos pop up, I was like, hold on, wait a minute, you can do this? Oh, this kind of changes the game a little bit.
yeah, I guess I'm a pioneer now. Um, so
There
yeah,
you go. There
I'm
you go.
glad
Be
I'm
like
glad
you're
you
just looking at it like, oh, this is random. This is random.
yeah
Look at this. I like this. So
yeah
yeah.
I tested it, man. This was like a couple weeks or like a month ago or something like that. I tested with shout out to Avery Miner, um, and he did it. And I'm
Oh,
like,
shout out to Avery. We
yeah,
were in class together. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I can the light bulb. Let me phrase that. It wasn't a light bulb. It was the freaking sun. Just clicked
Yeah.
off in my head. It's
It's
like,
just
wait a
like,
minute,
oh
I
my
can
God.
I know what I can do, and that's when I came up with the whole random and doing this thing, and seeing that you guys are doing your things, and a lot of you
Mm-hmm.
guys, like in your case, you're so busy and everything. It's like putting stuff out there, and it's like, you know what? Let me help these guys that are busy, they're grinding, they're networking and everything. You know what? Let me bring them here and get some traction to their product, their content, their brand, and then go back there. And then you guys get used to it.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. I appreciate that so very much. You know, it's people like you who see kind of like in the way and how I want to help to elevate other people and show people their talents. Same set for you as well to be able to say, hey, you know what? I have this audience and I know that I'm growing that, but I also know these people here that are doing amazing things, and I want to be able to put them on my platform to kind of showcase who they are to other people so that they can grow as well, man. And we all appreciate you and everything that you've been doing, D. Like you
Thank you,
said, this
man.
is random, but this
Thank
is
you.
great, and we really appreciate it. And it's just amazing that it's kind of funny just to see everybody that came out of that class and all the things that we're doing now.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing stuff out in New York, you're doing stuff here, and then I know who else? One of our teachers, J.R. Bang, he's out in D.C. killing it, out in
Yeah.
Maryland killing it. I see Domity on WGN now killing it. I
Yeah.
see Ricky on 92.3 killing it. I see Avery always like he's got a show going on somewhere. You got Dia Davis. I'm like, man, we are really doing some quality work out here. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a motivating. It's like, you know what? That's why we went there and to get to that next level and everything, man. Um, Man, what else was I
yeah.
gonna tell you, man? Um, Thank you for everything, for being yourself. I just want to commend you on that for, again, taking that step of faith, to doing that. A lot of times we take steps of faith and, we're in the moment and we internalize it. But then when we look back, we're trailblazers, like all of us. Like I'm doing this and people are like, man, I don't like, you're the only one that's like doing this so far. But if
Yeah.
people start getting on, it's like, get the use your head, man, for more than a hat rack,
Yeah.
like my dad said. But man, I want to commend you on that. Also, I want to
Thank you,
bring
man.
a short commercial break. I know
Mm-hmm.
you're in there and everything. I want to thank you for joining the business broadcasting business and entertainment group. So for
Oh,
those
no
of you who
problem.
are
Yeah.
watching that group, you guys can promote your business, your radio show.
Mm-hmm.
So Melvin, you can promote your TV show and everything else since you're in New York and
I'm about
everything.
to promote the hell out of everything in that group, just so you know. Just
it's
coming.
it's
Don't worry, it's coming.
it's that's awesome. It's a hub for people that are in broadcasting that are looking for content. It's a hub for people that are in
Mm-hmm.
business that are looking for to broadcast their thing, and it's people in entertainment for looking for growth and everything. So I want to thank you for joining that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People find you at on social media.
Man, you can find me on Melvin Taylor I on everything. That's my name on Facebook to my page. That's my Instagram, and that is also my Twitter. I originally wanted to go by my real name, Melvin Taylor Jr., but apparently somebody had already took that was out there, and I was like, you know what, man, forget you. So I was like, you know what, the Roman numerals always look cool to me, so I'm just go with Melvin Taylor I, and just do it that way, and I'm just
Awesome.
building it off of there. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Last question. What's the most
hmm
random thing to happen to you in New York City?
The most random. Oh man, I got a good story for you too. Okay, so I'm hanging out with one of my best friends, Sunny Valentine. She was also in class at
Shout out to Sunny Valentine.
IMS with us. Shout out to Sunny, and she's got the Sunny Valentine show. To make sure to go check that out. So hanging out with my friend Sunny. And man, I can't even. Oh my goodness, because there's like a couple different things that I want to talk about. But do I got
Go
time
ahead.
for like
It's random.
more than one?
It's,
Okay, cool, cool,
dude,
cool.
it's random.
So
Go.
um, we're going to a comedy show, and we go to this comedy show, and I don't really like know too many of the people that are at the actual show. I know one of the guys because I've seen him on some stuff with like Dormtainment and All
Okay.
Def Digital. So I'm like, okay, I know him. But there's this third guy who's headlining that I don't know a lot about. And his name happens to be Lil Rel Howery. So I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, okay, great. Learned he
Yeah.
was from West Side Chicago. I was like, that's what's up. Shout out to Lil Rel. He's cool. So afterwards, he was just telling us, he was like, hey man, a friend of mine is having a birthday. If you want to come hang out with us, you're more than welcome to. And I was like, you know what? It's kind of like I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day. Like I had to come from work. I don't really know. I guess let's just go do it. And we end up going to this bar in Brooklyn, and I get there, and I'm like, oh, okay, like this is pretty cool. Super long line outside. Guess we're gonna have to wait in this line. No, I didn't see again. I didn't know who Lil Rel was. The same like best friend from Get Out. I was like, I didn't know who he was at the time, but
Yeah.
he's like a thing in the comedy world. So I was like, oh wait, hold on, Lil Rel got some juice. Okay, bro, that's what's up. So we bypass the line, get into the bar. I turn my right, and I see Michael Shea, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
what's up? And everybody's
Wow.
there to celebrate Michael Shea's birthday. I'm like, yo, happy birthday, Michael Shea. Like, shout out to you, man. Whoop, whoop, all of that. So, chopped it up for a minute, but can't seem like no groupie. So, hey, man, how you doing? Great, nice to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to come in. I'm gonna just go stand over here because I ain't trying to be in your aura. I ain't finna be in your way. So, go in the front or I go in the back, hang out there. It's like a party scene going on. Hang out back there for a little bit. Then I come back towards the front, and I'm turning around and looking where everybody is, and there's like this big group of people that's like surrounding this one guy in the middle that's making people laugh. And I'm like, okay, Lil Rel's right here. Michael's right there. Who's this over here? I go over there and look. It's Hannibal Buress. I'm like,
Wow.
you are joking me. So I now have Michael Shea, Lil Rel Howery, and Hannibal Buress, and we're just like all here, just having a good time. And he like bought us drinks. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you from Chicago too? Like that's what's up." Blah blah blah, and just kicking it and just having a good time. And I was like, "Oh man, like you don't ever like things like that just don't happen." And the fact that it happened, I was like, "Yo, this is
Exactly.
absolutely crazy. Like can't believe it. It was so much fun." That leads me to another thing that I can say that happened that was really random. So I'm leaving from my internship. This is when I was originally in New York in summer 2014 for my internship. David Letterman. This is
Okay.
like his like swan song, basically his last few episodes. And I'm leaving from my internship, and we're across the street from David Letterman, now Stephen Colbert. So if you walk a certain way, you can see people as they're
Yeah.
coming out of the Letterman show. And I'm just kind of like walking there because I got to go to the train. And as I'm doing that, a gang of reporters come up to my right side and start taking pictures. And I'm kind of uncomfortable because I'm like, yo, I'm not famous yet. So what's going on here? Why y'all taking pictures of me? What's going on? And I turn to my left and look. Kid you not, sitting in like a black Escalade, window rolled down, blue suit, cigar in his mouth, sunglasses on. Dave Chappelle just sitting right there. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh my God, Dave Chappelle, how you doing? He's just like smoking, blow smoke in my face. What's up, man? How you doing?
You doing good? All right, have a good day. Just roll up the window and then just ride right on off. And I was like, I did what is was that Dave Chappelle?
Man,
Was that
that's
really
awesome.
Dave Chappelle? So yeah, and I'm trying to remember what was the
I'm
there was
surprised you
one
didn't.
more thing.
I'm surprised you didn't bring
Go
up the
ahead, I'm
Diddy
listening.
story. I think
I can bring up the Diddy story. I can
that's
bring
the
up the
one.
Diddy
I was
story. I was trying to
like,
find a third one. That,
that was the one when
okay.
I when I seen you post that, I was like, okay, this brother's making moves because it's like there's no you meet
I'm
people,
trying.
but then there's certain people that you meet, and it's like, all right,
Yeah,
now
time
you just got into
time
the realm of
freezes.
making some
Yeah.
big moves. Yes.
Time freezes. So I'm coming from work, and we had a good. It was like a. I'm actually on my lunch break at work, and I'm going out to take me a quick run to the bodega to get me a chopped cheese on my lunch break, and I'm like, man, like I was kind of upset because the show was good, but we had a few mess ups, and the show could have been a lot better than what it was, and some of it had fallen on my shoulders, and I was just kind of like down and out about it. I was like, man, like I got to do better, like blah blah blah. You know, all the normal stuff that you
Yeah.
do whenever something like that happens. And as I'm doing that, I happen to look up, and I see like three people walking, and I see there's two guys over on the side, and they're kind of like a good distance between me and the other people, and they're all like walking in my direction, but the two guys on the side are like looking at each other back and forth in disbelief, and then keep turning back to that guy, so and his group of people. So I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Who is this person that they keep looking at each other, looking at me, looking at him, looking at each other, looking at him? Like, what's going on? As I like get closer, I start to see that he's got like on a Versace shirt. You can tell that the pants he's got on are super expensive. He ain't got no shoes. He got
Nice.
on like some slippers. So he's just super comfortable. And then you see the haircut is all crisp and clean. I'm like, okay, who is this person? Like, what is this? So as I get closer, I can tell that I see like a tattoo of a crown on their neck. And I only know that picture from seeing Diddy's tattoo on the back of his neck so often. So like I freak out on
Yeah.
the inside like, oh my God, that is Sean Puffy Combs right there in
Yeah.
front of me. Melvin, do not freak out.
Awesome.
Do not scream. Like, yo, that's Diddy right there. You need to chill. You need to chill. So me, I've caught up to the other guys now. Diddy and like his son, and it was like his assistant or someone else, I don't know who exactly, was across the street. And we're just kind of in disbelief. We're like, oh my goodness, that's Diddy. And like he hears somebody say that. So he turns around and like a car passes by and some more cars are about to come. And he's just kind of looking at us and he's like, yo, if y'all want a picture, stop standing over there. Come get a picture right now. I was like, yo, you ain't got to tell me
That's dope.
twice. Ran across the street, forget the traffic. Yo, let somebody hit me good. I got some college loans I need y'all to help me pay off anyway. Run across the street, get over there. I'm like, yo, man, Diddy, how you doing? Et cetera, et cetera. I'm telling him some people that I knew from Revolt. One of the guys that helped him to set up the channel Revolt, Julian Mitchell, and another guy that was a
Okay.
host on Revolt and is now a host on TRL, Lawrence Jackson. Just telling them that I kind of know those guys and that they were great for Revolt and everything. And just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what's up. That's just like normal Diddy talk. I was
Dude,
expecting
that's
for him at some point
sweet.
to be like, yeah, take that,
That's
take that. And
sweet.
he was like, all right, come on, I gotta run. So can we take this picture real quick? So I'm just like, yeah, let me try and get my phone. And I was about to get a phone to like his assistant. His sister was just kind of getting me to like, are you really about to do this? And like, give me the phone look. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm just turn it to selfie
Blink.
mode and just take some pictures with Diddy real fast. He's like, hey man, I want you to have a blessed day, King. Like, hope everything is safe. Like, one team love, all of that. And I was just like, oh my God, like it's Diddy. Hey Diddy, you know, I also I TV host and I like radio host and yeah, you can holler at X, Y, and Z people for all of that. I'm on the run right now, you know, Forbes. Like it was when the Forbes thing had came out that he was like #1 in hip hop or one of like Forbes top 50 people
Okay.
or something like that had come out. And you could tell that he was like on the go. And I'm normally one to be like, yo, if you want to go, I'm going to go with you too. But I had so much stuff to still do at the office that I'm like, I don't want to get in a position where at some point Diddy gives me an opportunity and then that happens. And I'm like, all right, I done talked this big game of what I can do. and then I get there and I can't deliver. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me just sacrifice the moment right now. Let me take some of this information that he's giving me and that I'm getting from his people and just build up that network so that way when the day comes that I do have my things together and the stars do align, we all good from there. Hey, man, you know, thank you so much for telling me across the street working with you. So, yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's the Diddy story right there.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on Random. This won't be the last time. Definitely it won't be, because I know you're going to be accomplishing and networking with more and everything. I haven't forgot about what you told me the last time we spoke as far as me going out to New York. I have that on my radar.
Gotta figure that out, man. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
And you remember I told you, like, the things that go on in New York, I'm a spontaneous person. So, I don't know. Do you think I could fit in New York?
I think you could, man. I think you do well out there. Just remember, you ain't gonna get a lot of sleep if you really want some of these random things to happen to you. Just be prepared for that, and you'll be good from there.
I barely sleep, man. I was thinking the last time we talked, I was just like, man, I could do this, I could do that. Man, you know how many hits I can get on? I'm like, let me stay in Chicago. Let me stay in Chicago.
You funny. Yeah.
But man, thank you so much, man. Thank you for, you came in off of a flight. You had, just that whole thing and everything. You joined us Thanksgiving Eve, man. Grace, peace, and blessings to you, man. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. I hope it's nothing but love, peace, and just productivity, and just you get rejuvenated going back to New York City, and hopefully outside of this interview we can catch up before you leave and everything.
Definitely, man. Thank you so much. This was very random, and I'm very glad to have been on Random. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time I come back, and thank you. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and also shout out to everybody that's out there listening. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving as well, and we will find some time to catch up before I gotta go. So yeah, man. Thank you so much, Dean. Really appreciate it.
No problem. And also for you guys that just tuned in, this interview, give it some time this day and everything. It will be uploaded on YouTube, so you can rewatch it as many times you want, stuff like that. I'll send you the link, Melvin, and everything. Thank you again. Thank you guys for just bearing with the Wi-Fi situation that kept on coming and going and stuff like that. Hey, we're in the digital age. It happens. I mean, there's only so much that we can control.
There you go.
Thank you guys. That is it. That is it for this edition of Random. I believe it is the 6th edition of Random. I've done so many, I lost count and everything. Thank you, guys. That is it. We're about to enjoy the rest of this day and the rest of the weekend. Peace out, guys.
All right, y'all have a good one. See you.